the Hall of Justice, mutated by toxic waste.
All right, we are here. Talking Games Game of the Year previews, I guess. Looks, Let's Plays. I don't know how you want to put it. One of those things. We're going to be going through 4 of the 5, right? 4 of the 5 nominated games. We're starting, obviously, here with Destiny. We're going to be playing some Shadow of Mordor, some Transistor, some Bayonetta 2 as well. So, Jackie's in the driver's seat right now.
Yes, I am. Hence the crotch shots.
And we're also here with Justin.
Hello.
So, Jackie is playing as Justin's character, is that correct?
Yes, I am.
Don't screw anything up.
This is fun. I'm going to delete all of your exotic weapons.
She will assuredly screw something up. All right, so Jackie, what are you doing right now?
I am running around the tower. This is the new person from the DLC with her bleeding eyeballs. Do you want me to pick anything up, Justin?
Sure.
All right, so I'm going to pick up some bounties. And stuff. So, I mean, are we assuming like a certain amount of knowledge, or should I explain what this is?
Well, I mean, we can assume a certain amount of knowledge, but
Right.
Destiny is a first-person shooter.
Even though we're in the third person right now.
Yeah, but this is the only place that you are in third person.
With some MMO trappings and some multiplayer. So we're going to go through, maybe do some bounties. We'll go through some of the kind of, not story content, but the PvE content. And then we will head over to the Crucible and do a little PvP as well. Jackie's dancing.
I like to randomly dance with people in the tower.
So, Jackie, why don't you head out and do a
Sure.
mission after you kill yourself? He really is the worst ninja ever.
Yep. Just making sure everyone in this tower knows that he is the worst ninja ever. All right. So we're going to go to orbit, which looks very, very pretty.
And we get to one of Destiny's many loading screens.
Yeah, this is a quick one. So what should I do? The daily, the crucible?
Let's go do the daily. So, Destiny, right here on the left-hand side of the screen, these are like the daily and weekly challenges. So, the first one with the swords is always going to be your crucible, kind of like weekly thing where you'll get an XP bonus, if you could see there, for playing this particular multiplayer mode. Underneath that will be a daily mission that will change every day, and you'll be getting rewards that you could see at the bottom, and you could play these 5 times a week, 7 times a week actually, as they keep switching and get those type of rewards. And then under that are the weekly strike, which is a strike is where you're going to be playing. It's a online only. You have to go with 1 to 3 other players. And actually, no, you can play.
Well, you get matchmake.
You can get on the one beneath it. Excuse me, the weekly Nightfall strike. You'll see it's PlayStation Plus required, and that's where you're going to get the best rewards. It's also one of the harder challenges in Destiny. Once they're completed for the week, they get filled up. And as you can see, the daily challenge has not been met yet. So why don't we go there and do that? Now we can change the difficulty to increase the rewards that we'll get. Since Jackie's kind of bad, let's put it at level 26. We'll put it at the middle one, and we'll see if we can get through this.
Oh, this is going to be horrible, having commentary from you two as I play this.
Jackie, I don't know if you've realized this in all of our hours playing together. I comment on pretty much everything you do in the game.
You're normally distracted and doing what you're doing as well. This time you're not actually playing, you're literally just watching me screw up. Yay. Be nice.
I will be incredibly nice. It's the listeners that you should worry about.
Or it could be something valuable. The speaker's asking Guardians to look into it.
So as we fly on down to the planet, I didn't even see which one was this. It was on Earth, right? Let's see what mission this is.
Okay, the Skywatch is just on the other
What
side of
is
this
that? All right.
fence, and it's surrounded
I'm
by
gonna
a fallen.
switch out my stuff.
I'm ready if you are.
This all our various weapons. Oh, there it is. All right.
Whip out the Sparrow, which is one of the most loved things in Destiny. Ripped straight out of Star Wars. Sound and all.
It's amazing.
You know, this place must have been amazing before the collapse. Thousands of years.
So we're just traveling to our destination where we're going to most likely fight a bunch of bad guys. And we'll have to wait for our literal robot companion to probably do something. That's a lot of what Destiny is going places and fighting people and waiting for Peter Dinklage to tell you to move on. Well, Jackie's cruising by rather quickly, but, you know, one of the things about Destiny is that the game is rather beautiful to look at. Jackie, why don't you just take a second and give us a look around at our surroundings.
Oh, hang on.
Also, try not to die. That's a level 3 captain. You should be able to take him out. So we're in old Russia, where there were space stations. This takes place after the fall of mankind. And we're just outside the last protected city on Earth. And what's nice about Destiny is that they have these zones. Like, we have a mission that we're going to do right now, but all of this is available for us to explore. If Jackie wanted to, she could jump down and go through those canyons to her left, and there'll be an entire other area for her to explore. It's not where she's not going to be accomplishing this particular mission, but if she wanted to, she can go back to orbit, come back down to this area in a patrol mode, and just pick up little random quests in these areas and complete them as she goes on by. And she can gain XP for doing so, and it's just a fun way to, you know, gain experience, and also it's a great place to like meet up with friends and just talk about your day and what you're doing and to shoot some enemies in the face. So why don't you take us in, Jack?
Okay. So I'm trying to remember which level this is. I did it earlier today, which is just ridiculous. I can't remember.
We're in. This was
How many times do you think you've seen this hallway?
Oh, 100 million times. Yep. You know exactly what's coming. This is the whole load of thralls. And this was great the first time you play this.
get it open.
Once we open this, the first time you play this level is awesome because you don't quite know what's coming, and then all of a sudden everything is.
Fallen really didn't want anybody getting in. Or out.
What's this bitchin' weapon that's Jackie's holding right now?
This is it, yeah.
It's this is the Vision of Confluence.
No, this is the Murmur.
Oh, you're using the Murmur right now?
Yeah.
So the Murmur is a fusion rifle that Jackie favors all the time. And the fusion rifle is a weapon that can be charged and shot. And it has a nice bit of damage that'll get done.
It sounds really nice.
And it does sound very nice. Not my particular favorite weapon, but Jackie loves it a lot. And this weapon was something that you got from the latest DLC pack. The gun she's holding right now is Vision of Confluence. It's a scout rifle. Shoots one shot at a time. This was a really good weapon. We'll give it a pause in a minute, and once everyone's cleared out, and we'll show the advantages of this particular gun. It was a gun that drops in Destiny's Raid. The Raid being the 6-man crew that you take online to accomplish one of Destiny's biggest challenges. Definitely the biggest challenge Destiny has is the raids. And this was a weapon that dropped as a random reward. Jackie, bring us to the menu for a second.
Huh?
Bring us to the menu for a second.
Okay.
So if you look over at the Vision of Confluence on the left, it has, you see 300 attack, and it has solar. It's that flame next to the attack number. And what makes it interesting is the guns each, your heavy weapon, which is like a rocket launcher, and your secondary weapon, which would be like a sniper rifle or a shotgun, they're going to have a elemental damage, solar, arc, or void. And this is one of the actual few primary weapons in the game that has that ability on it. So it increases the handiness when facing higher level enemies that might be shielded by one of those elemental types. So it's just
made a big difference. This
Yeah.
gun. I love having this gun.
It's a really good gun. So bring us in. Let's keep going. Try not to get lost on the way.
You distracted me. I do this in autopilot now.
There's a wizard here. You have to kill it.
I do not enjoy that grenade. Just so you know.
It wasn't one of your better ones, but it'll do. This mission is actually probably one of Destiny's most famous ones. In the beta, which came out this summer.
Live, Justin, please. And I think it was the alpha, wasn't it? The alpha. Yeah. This is the mission where the wizard came from the moon line, originated, and then obviously now is gone from the game. Was gone by the beta, I believe. Yeah. It was a really funny turn, right? Because Bungie seemed like they embraced it because they made a T-shirt out of it, and then sent it in and sold it. But they took it out of the game. I mean, Destiny definitely the game I played most this year. Absolutely. Also, one of the more divisive games to come out, I think, in a long time. For as popular as it was. Obviously, not for the dance moves, which are fantastic.
Oh yeah, they are.
A lot of criticisms about the amount of content and the delivery of that content. The fact that there aren't a lot of missions, that you have to replay them a lot, and that kind of the end game became a matter of luck instead of a matter of skill. You could play everything perfectly and not get the right gear to level you to the next to your next light level. But Jackie, this is your game of the year.
Yes.
Why is it your game of the year?
Well, partly I like the repetitive nature to a certain degree. After 3 months, it's starting to wear on me a tad. But they have a long-term plan. They have stuff coming up. They're going to continue with the DLC stuff. They're trying to do something ambitious where they're trying to meld the first-person shooter with the online kind of the whole community aspect of it. So I admire them trying to do both things. And I just, for me, it's a personal thing. Like, I've discovered online gaming because of this game in 2014.
You're on the cutting edge, Jackie.
Exactly.
And look, playing a game for 3 months straight and then just starting to get tired of it, that's not a slight against the game.
Exactly.
I think that...
And when I say getting tired of it, I didn't play it for a week, and now I'm playing it again, and I'm like, yay, back into Destiny.
I was kind of forced out of Destiny's thrall by getting married. And so it that forced me not to play it for a few weeks. And... I've only played a very small amount since then. Right. But if I didn't have that kind of forced detox from it, I probably would still be playing it.
You said that's also, like, for you, wasn't a great thing because you felt by the time you came back to the game, it was hard for you to play with the people that you'd normally play with. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's just very much like an MMO type of thing, right? Where if you're not constantly playing and you have friends who are constantly playing, you kind of get left behind a little bit. And the one issue with Destiny, I think, and I had more fun playing Destiny than just about anything else this year. But the one thing about the game is that the reason the leveling system, I think, if you're not deep in it, is really an issue, is because once I was behind, thinking about going back in and leveling up becomes not just an issue of time, but an issue of luck. Like I
Right.
said before, right? So it became this thing where I was like, I could play, but I could play for 20 hours
Right.
and get one level. If,
Well, they've done stuff to help out with that, like with the expansion.
With the
packs
DLC,
and
they
that.
changed the leveling
Because
to
now, you definitely can if you're willing to hit those strike lists and the Crucible, and you're willing to do max it out every week. You can buy everything you need.
Right.
The only problem I'd have with that is that they cap you at 100 points a week.
right. Yes.
So you
of
can
course.
max out, and you still don't actually have enough to buy one piece of armor that you might need.
Right, and it keeps you in the game in that way. It wants you to keep playing. It doesn't want you to max out the game in a week. But because of that detox, or whatever, I found it tough to get back into it because I love the shooting in it is utterly fantastic. It's
Right.
amazing, and I want to play that gameplay loop over and over and over again. But when I was playing with people, so much fun. I'd never even thought about the amount of time I was putting into it.
Yeah.
But when you try to do that stuff on your own, it loses a lot, I think, of the draw of the game, right?
Yeah.
Once the social aspects are taken away from you, then you're playing the same things
Oh,
over and
definitely.
over again.
Yeah, I can play the same levels over and over if I'm talking to people while
Yeah.
I'm doing it, because I'm not even really paying attention.
Yeah.
And also, when you do one of the levels where you sell it at 30 and it's more challenging, it's fun to play with other people. But
Absolutely.
I wouldn't go in and do a level I've played 100 times at level 30 on my own.
Right.
Because, like you said, it kind of loses its appeal somewhat.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a lot of the reason. I think a lot of the criticism of the game comes from people who looked at it as if it was going to be a fulfilling single-player experience,
Right.
Along the lines, obviously, of Halo, which is obviously what Bungie is known for. And it doesn't really fulfill that, right? None of the mission design, none of the mission structure is as interesting or fluid as the Halo games became when they really came into their own. But that's not what the thing is. That's not what the game is about, right? The game is about those social situations.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why I feel like they've been ambitious with what they're trying to do.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Most have pulled it off.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're still working on it. This is
Yeah.
not a game they've put out and now it's done.
Yeah.
They're still putting stuff out for it, and there's still going to be DLC, and I still have a lot of faith that they're going to improve the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And also they're probably going to screw you over even worse with other stuff, because that's what they do.
Yep. Justin, you're about to jump into some multiplayer here, some Crucible.
Yep. Let's hope I don't embarrass myself.
So, what do you think of the multiplayer in general, the competitive multiplayer?
I really like it. It's different from most other multiplayer modes or multiplayer games because of the supers that each character can do, whether it's throwing a flame ball or a fireball or putting up a dome to protect yourself or your team. This particular mode that we're going into is called Control. It is about holding bases, and when you hold these bases, it increases the points that you get, and it's just it's about reaching a score. The shooting feels great. I like the fact that your grenades are limited, and it's really interesting to see how this particular team is going to play off of each other because of the special abilities that we have.
All right, so I'll let you get into it. I know talking and playing about multiplayer probably isn't the best idea, though you'll probably hear Justin screaming before it's over.
Actually, that's very true. He should have played the Daily Heroic, and I should have played the Crucible. Do we have that bleep button?
We don't need a bleep button. We're an explicit show. Now, Jackie, people listen to the podcast know that obviously this has been your year of growth,
Yes, it is.
and you had really never played much of a first-person shooter before you played Destiny.
Never. I was always very intimidated
Yeah.
by the thought of it.
Certainly never competitively.
No.
But you've played quite often competitively in the game.
Absolutely. I do. I played Crucible a lot.
So what is it about the competitive multiplayer that you enjoy?
Well, I have to say, one thing is I didn't realise it could be as anonymous as it is. To me, they're just they're PSN names floating above people's heads. So it's not intimidating because I'm not having to worry about other people. But then the other aspect is everyone behaves differently. If you go in, you start learning how the thralls behave, how the knights behave, how you can learn how all of those NPCs behave, and you tailor your game around it. You can't predict what that person, or you can to a certain degree. Once you play it enough, like Justin taught me, on this level he's looking at right now, this little bit here, there's these 2 windows, and people will jump through those windows all the time. So you can predict some stuff, but on the whole, everyone, they're thinking for themselves. So you have to, it's very on the go. You have to figure out how to play this on the go. And that's what I like about it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, I think that it strikes a good balance as far as, for me in competitive multiplayer, the meta damage you can take is always very important to me because I'm not great at the initial encounter moments in a multiplayer game, right? I'm terrible at the initial, like, okay, there's somebody there, I can get my gun up and shoot them. I always like end up taking a shot before I ever get a shot off most of the time. So I need to be able to have that chance to recover from it before I'm going to be dead. Because it's something like Call of Duty, you're pretty much 2 shots and you're dead. That's pretty much what it's like.
Right.
And this is somewhere kind of in between the Call of Duty multiplayer and the Halo multiplayer, which Halo, especially in the older games, I'm not sure how Halo 5 is going to be completely.
Right.
You were kind of a bullet sponge. Like, it would take an entire clip into you to knock you, to take you down. And this is kind of somewhere in between those things, and I like that because I can have a chance to react.
I'm the same shit. I like to play the Titan because it's the basic tank character, and I'm the same way. I like to have a certain, I don't care if I run fast. I like to have a certain amount of armor for exactly the same reason. I'd say the only problem that this one would have is it's definitely very true that that you can do that with certain weapons. You can take some damage, but the reason that I run around with the fusion rifle is because it's cheap, because I can one-shot most people with a fusion rifle as long as I get a good shot on them the first time.
Right.
And they can empty like 7 or 8 bullets from an auto rifle and I can probably be okay.
Right.
But, that does lead to, like, Justin's running around with a hand cannon right now, which is a hell of a lot harder to do than running around with a fusion rifle. So you have to kind of figure out how you want to play it. And for me, I don't care if I'm cheap. Like, I'll pull special moves in Mortal Kombat all day long.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah. It's about winning.
I mean, the thing about there's trade-offs of every weapon, right? The fusion rifle has like that charge up.
Exactly.
So there is a lot of room for you to be taken out. If you get into a battle where you guys start firing at the same time, most likely you're going to be dead before you finish charging that fusion rifle. But if you get the jump on somebody, absolutely.
If you watch on your radar where they are, and as long as you're starting to charge it as you come around the corner, you can pretty much get them.
Right, absolutely. It's interesting. A very interesting multiplayer and a great game. I mean, like you said, the shooting is so good, and that's the thing I realized. I went back to it for the first time just when the DLC came out, and I played through the story missions.
Right.
The first thing that I noticed, was I had forgotten how fantastic it felt to play the game. You know,
right. It feels very natural.
Yeah,
definitely.
Really responsive shooting. A good mix of speed and also weight to the weapons. Yeah. I am in love with the Halo games, but I feel like this is Bungie nailed their shooting in a way they never nailed it before.
Absolutely.
It's pretty amazing for that.
Justin's doing so good.
He is. He's getting very angry.
Like he is like on the point of swearing, and
the only reason he's not yelling is because we're recording this.
Yeah, he's
or he'd be yelling right now.
Himself around, but he's not actually cursing.
Yeah, you should just curse. You gotta give the audience the real Justin.
People do not want to see the real Justin.
Ouch!
It's scary.
Ouch!
Very scary.
First match in like a month, and we're getting absolutely hosed. We're playing a team that's been playing for a while. It's frustrating. Hopefully the next one's better.
Run away. See, I would never run around with a hand cannon. To me, that just seems like the worst idea ever.
I mean, it's probably very accurate.
And it's strong.
And strong. So I understand. Absolutely. For me, though, I'm not
I know.
incredibly accurate shooter, so I need something that's going to give me some spray.
Thing. He just wants to look good running around with that thing. Ooh.
Now he's mumbling to himself. It's starting to break. He's starting to
Lacey
break.
Bra PhD. That's an interesting combination. That's the other thing. The PSN names, I love just running around and finding good ones.
Well, Wang Stang just got killed.
So my favourite was I hate Kevin Bacon. Like, that's some real hatred to actually make that your PSN name. And Stretchy Undies, I saw the other day. That was another personal favourite.
So,
That was a hosing. That was a hosing. Let's try and find a better room.
So we're probably coming towards the end. We should probably wrap up the stream pretty soon, in the next couple minutes.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we want to show people from Destiny other than you getting your ass kicked in multiplayer before we sign off?
No rewards.
That was tough.
awful.
Yeah, everyone in the team was very low level.
Oh yeah.
I know. I think that's it. I mean, we showed them the screen, you know, with all your various weapons and armor. And, I mean, run down quickly, like the leveling versus light system.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
That's the real huge difference with this guy. No, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, Justin.
Don't look at me.
Okay, so if you look at my name up on the right-hand side of the screen, I am light level number 31. What happens is Bobby just hit the options button to bring me to my character. You'll see right there on the right, light level 31, and if you look to the left, it says level number 20. 20 is the soft cap in the game for leveling. When you start as level 1, you'll work your way to level 20. Now, what Bungie's doing that's different than almost any other game is you're going to stay level 20, but you're going to increase your light level after level 20, and you're going to do that by getting armor as random drops. So if you see on the armor here in the middle, it's saying light number 36. And if you go down to the one underneath that, it will also say, all right, this light, it's not fully maxed out yet. If you hit triangle for a second, Bobby. You'll see I haven't fully maxed this thing out yet. And I'll max it out by getting items or shards from the raid. So once you get these armors and you increase them, your light level will increase from, let's say, 20 to 21. And then so on and so forth. So right now I'm at 31, and the hard cap right now is 32. So the longer I play and the more weeks that I do the raid, I'll get those radiant shards and I'll be able to increase to the level cap. And what that does is it increases your damage output, it increases how much defense you have, but it won't really make a difference in the Crucible and the PvP modes. What's interesting there is that your weapons, go over to the Hawk Moon for 1 second, Bobby, right there on the left, and if you look at the bottom, each weapon has like different abilities. So for the Hawk Moon, I don't have it maxed out yet, but one random bullet in the magazine causes considerable bonus damage. That will count in the Crucible modes, but the 302 that could be increased to 331 attack won't. So it's a strange thing. Like, your gun damage can be whatever. It's all the same. But the bonuses that you have for whatever gun you have, those do make a difference. So it's a kind of like a weird meet in the middle of like a more MMO-style PvP mode and a regular first-person mode.
I think the interesting thing about doing it this way as well is I like that it is different. I like the system. But as we mentioned earlier, this system leaves it open to your leveling up being dependent on luck. If you don't get that armor drop, there's really nothing you can do. You can't go out and play more missions and get more XP. Play more missions and hope that you get a drop.
To reach the maximum level, you have to do Destiny's raid, which is the best thing about Destiny, but it requires that you play with people
You have to,
online.
and you have to have 6 people.
Yep.
Or find random people in the tower, which again you will find a lot in Destiny. People will run up to you and wave and send you an invite. And because not everyone has 6 people that play online together to be able to do the raid. But it's worth it.
It is, it's one of my favorite games of the year. I mean, if I counted up all my time, I think I have about 10 days in the game. which is an absurd amount of time. Yeah, I really enjoy it because of, I mean, as Bobby mentioned before, the story elements, they're lacking. It's very grindy, but I find the moment-to-moment shooting and the gameplay while you're there in that moment to be spectacular. And, when you're with friends or, you're doing the raid, Jackie is at 10 days, 12 hours, 5 minutes. When you're doing things and you can throw up a bubble to save your teammates when you're the last one alive and revive them and then take down this giant boss, it's a great feeling, and those moments just don't get old for me no matter how many times I'm replaying the same level. So Destiny gets a good vote for me as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be on my top 10 of the year.
Ooh.
Definitely. But probably top 5. I shouldn't say that. Probably top 5. But all right, so that's going to do it for our Game of the Year look back at Destiny. Check out the rest of the channel, and if you guys are going to the podcast post, we'll put them all in there. And don't forget to go vote for our best of 2014 Game of the Year nominees. Yep. TalkingComicBooks.com. Go under podcast, you'll see Talking Games. Do it right there. All right, so hopefully we'll see another video, guys. Hasta la vista.